Paris, thank you for the follow. Brisbane City is the closest to us. Okay, I see. I've been here since 2012. Nice. 13 years. And how do you like the Brisbane area? How do you like Toowoomba? And I think I was mistaken before. So welcome to the YouTube watchers. I finally let you in. I'm sorry about that. Teething problems here. But welcome. Yeah, sorry about that. We're streaming on YouTube and TikTok at the same time at the moment. So trying something a bit new. So say hello to each other. Here you go. You can see it's like connecting two different friend groups for the first time. I think it's finally working. So apologies for that to my YouTube friends. 13 years, suffer the Aussie slang accent. Yeah, that's fair. Okay, wow, that cool friends you had. Well, shall we, in lieu of anyone asking any particular questions, shall we do some quiz questions? That could be fun. Let's try that. So, let's start with the first question. We're gonna do some quiz questions. They're all space themed in some way, but type in chat if you think you know the answer. The prize is bragging rights, and that's about it. But yeah, let's kick off with the first question. So, does anyone know which spacecraft was repaired with duct tape in the middle of the mission? There was a space mission or spacecraft that was repaired with duct tape mid-mission. Does anyone know which one that was? I'm not good in science. That's all right. You can have a guess for some of them if you want, or just tune in. I don't know which spacecraft was repaired with duct tape mid-mission. I'll give you a minute. Type your answer in chat. All right. The answer is Apollo 13. So it was the Apollo 13 mission to the moon. This mission was there's a good movie about this. I think it's with Tom Hanks. This rocket, the mission was supposed to land on the moon. On the way there, they had their oxygen tank basically blew, and they ended up having more carbon dioxide than they were supposed to in the cabin. And so what they did was on the ground, they obviously aborted the mission in terms of landing on the moon, but they still had to go to the moon in orbit and kind of circle around the moon and come back. So the ground crew basically did kind of a stock take of, okay, well, they've got to create a carbon scrubber. Like, how are they going to do that? They've got to get rid of all this carbon dioxide in the building up in the cabin. And so they looked at all the things they have, okay, they got duct tape, they got paper, they got whatever else, and how can we jury rig a little budget carbon dioxide scrubber with just that equipment that we have? And they ended up doing it. So with duct tape and a few other things, they were able to build a little carbon dioxide scrubber, and then they told the people in the spacecraft, do this and make a carbon dioxide scrubber. And so they saved the mission, and so the crew survived, and they managed to get back to Earth. Yeah, but it was a bit touch and go there. Fernandog, thank you for the follow. Welcome. Are there already people living in the moon or other spacecraft? So there's 6 people at the moment living in the International Space Station. So we have a permanent human presence in space. So this is in low Earth orbit. There's usually a few US astronauts, a few Russians, and a few astronauts from Europe. There's another space station, which is the Chinese space station, and I don't know if any of the Chinese taikonauts are like currently on that space station, but in the near future there will be Chinese permanent presence in space as well. So that's in orbit. As for the moon, not at the moment. There's no one on the moon at the moment, but in a few years' time, what's it called? I forgot the name of the moon mission coming out. What is it again? Artemis. Goodness. Yeah. So the Artemis mission will be heading to the moon soon in a couple of years' time. So there's like a few Artemis missions that will be unmanned, but then they plan for a manned Artemis mission in 2027. So that will put humans back on the moon for the first time in like 50 years or something. So that's exciting. Yeah, so not at the moment, but there may be some people on the moon soon. All right, shall we go to the next quiz question? So which two planets in our solar system do not have moons? Does anyone know? Two planets in our solar system don't have moons. Which one are they? We have 8 planets. And just as a reminder, they are Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus. I got those last two in the wrong order. Of course, Pluto is not a planet anymore. Purple Lights, what's going on? Welcome. We're doing a space science quiz to test your knowledge. Test your space knowledge. So the last question was, which two planets don't have moons? So if you know the answer, if you think you know the answer, put it in chat. The prize is bragging rights. I don't belong here. Well, maybe you could learn something, but feel free to have a guess. There's 8 planets. Which two don't have moons? McKay, wow, wonderful. Does anyone want to have a crack? Have a guess. Oh, Des will be learning. I'm gonna guess Neptune and Mars. Okay. Anyone else have a crack? Jupiter? Said McCoyski? All right, we'll give everyone 10 seconds. Watchers on YouTube, this is your chance to guess as well. Which two planets in our solar system don't have moons? All right, 5 seconds. Get your answers in. Mercury and Venus, said Francesca. Okay, wait, said McCoyski. Okay, waiting. Waiting. All right, we'll give you 5 more seconds, McCoyski. What are we waiting for? 3, 2, 1. All right, the answer is, yeah, Mercury and Venus are the 2 planets that don't have moons in our solar system. They're also the 2 smallest planets, so that kind of makes sense. Mars does have 2 moons, 2 little tiny moons called Phobos and Deimos. Earth, of course, we have a moon. Rob Labosco, hi, welcome. Damn, said Purple Lights. My son answered that. Oh, well, your son did a good job. Jupiter has like 50 or 60 moons or something. Saturn has about 40 moons. Neptune and Uranus both have some moons. Yeah, so Mercury and Venus do not have moons. New moon on Tuesday the 27th. Nice. I love looking at a new moon. Actually, I love looking at a full moon. New moons are kind of cool too. Gemini new moon on Tuesday. Yeah, a good full moon is perfection. Awij, thank you for the follow. Welcome. All right, next question. What is the surface temperature of our sun? How hot is our sun at the surface? Pop your answer in chat if you want to have a guess. Oh, solar showers today. Cool. How hot is the sun at the surface? McCoyski said Venus. I think that's a bit bit slow maybe from the last question. That was one of them. But how hot is the sun at the surface? May as well have a guess. You know, for these number ones, if you have a guess, the closest person gets it right. Mr. Mollum, thank you for the heart. Appreciate that. Thank you. Welcome. Oh, thank you for the ice cream and the TikTok gift. Hey, thank you, Mollum. I appreciate that. I appreciate it a lot. Oh, thanks so much, Mollum. Common Yabby, sup? Hey, Mollum, Mr. Mollum, thank you so much. Oh, I really appreciate that. Thank you. Any support, you know, helps me make more science education videos. So I really appreciate that. Have a nice day, mate. Thank you, Mr. Mollum. I will. You too. And welcome. While you're here, Mr. Mollum, do you want to have a guess? How hot is the sun at the surface? All right, we'll give everyone 10 seconds. 1.8 million. We'll say 1.8 million degrees Celsius. Okay. At least 90 degrees Celsius. Spoiler alert, it is at least 90. All right, time's up. The guesses we got were 1.8 or 2 million, at least 90. I knew it, said Common Yabby. All right, the answer is the temperature of the sun at the surface of the sun is 5,600 degrees Celsius. Now, the temperature at the center of the sun is like a million or so, maybe a couple million degrees Celsius. So, kind of close, Francesca, but at the surface, it is 5,600 degrees Celsius. And Common Yabby was indeed closest. Yes, that is right. That is right. You were 90 is closest to 5,600. So well done, Common Yabby. McCoyski said 464, but I think it was a little bit late. Sorry, McCoyski. Otherwise, you would have gotten that one. Okay, now we know, said Francesca. Well, good guesses. Yeah, it's actually, I mean, it's kind of like not as hot as I would expect. 5,600 degrees Celsius is like, I don't know, like heat up a piece of metal and you can get it to like 1,000 degrees Celsius, you know? Rob Labosco, where in Australia are you? I am in Western Sydney. I'm in Parramatta. Yeah, champion, Common Yabby, well done. All right, see if you get the next one, Common Yabby. What is the name of our closest star other than the sun? Which star is next closest? Oh, Victoria here, nice. I was in Melbourne about 2 or 3 months ago. Down under. What's the name of the star closest to us other than our sun? Leona, hello, welcome. 1,500 degrees. Oh, I think that 1,500 degrees Celsius came in a bit late, Leona, but welcome. Polaris, said Leona on YouTube. Anyone else want to have a guess? What's the name of our closest star? Melbourne is the best, said Rob Bosco. Melbourne is cool. I like Melbourne and Sydney for different reasons. I don't know what a star is. A star is, I mean, at night, when you look up in the sky, you can see those little twinkling lights. Most of those are stars. Not all of them, but most of those are stars. And a star is, like, our sun is a star. So those would all be stars, like our sun, but really far away. So they look like a tiny little dot. Proxima Centauri, said Francesca. All right. So we've got a few guesses. Leona on YouTube said Polaris. Francesca on TikTok said Proxima Centauri. Thank you for the follow, Rob. Appreciate that. And thank you for the heart. All right. The answer is, it is Proxima Centauri. So well done, Francesca. That's right. Oh, Rob, thank you for the gifts. Popular Popular vote. Ah, cool. Thanks so much. I appreciate that. I haven't seen that one. But yeah, it is Proxima Centauri. There's three Centauri stars because it's a trinary star system. If you've seen the Three Body Problem or read that book, that is the star system that's based off. It's based off the Alpha Centauri, Beta Centauri, and Proxima Centauri. That's my son's answer again. I wasn't going to ask, but I thought it might be. Yeah, let's get you to A League. Ah, nice, cool. I don't know how those popular votes work, but yeah, I've been stuck in like the D League, I think, for a while. Because I think TikTok kind of like incentivizes you to try and stream or go live every day if you want to try and like move up leagues. Because if you miss a day, you go down, like you lose points in the league. Yeah, it's been a challenge to try and be consistent. But thank you, Rob. Let's try and get there. Also, we have 3.5 minutes. If one more person gifts a heart, then we manage to get that little sub goal. And I think I unlocked like a new emote or something. So that could be cool. I need one more heart gift from one more person though. Ah, join me in A. Ooh. I will try, Rob. Thank you. Leona said, this is so much fun because I have almost zero knowledge about space science. Francesca, yes, that's true. You need active or lose points, yeah. Any tips, Rob, for getting up leagues? Let me know. But Leona, yeah, hopefully you learn something from today. But let's go on to the next question. What are comets made out of? Dream, believe, receive. What are comets made out of? Which material? Rob, allow universe to help you manifest. What are comets made out of? Which materials? Anyone want to have a guess? I feel like hopefully this isn't too hard to at least get one of them. Debris, okay. Francesca said debris. Anyone else? Leona on YouTube said ice. Common Yabby said iron. All right, we'll give you 10 more seconds. Good guesses. Oh, thank you for the TikTok gifts, Rob. It feels weird calling those TikToks, but thank you. Oh man, I think you're lit up. Yeah, I think you're skyrocketing up towards my top gifter potentially there, Rob. So thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I'm not sure if oh, and roses. Thank you, Rob. I'm not sure if you're new here, but my whole kind of goal is to I try and make educational science videos and teach people about science and space. So yeah, your support goes a long way. It'll help me pay for things like video editing and equipment to do that. So thank you so much. I really appreciate that. On that note, we've got 50 seconds left for one more person to give a heart to unlock a new emote, but no worries if we don't quite get there. All right, next question. Oh, did I give the answer? I did not give the answer. Okay, so what are comets made out of? We had a few guesses. We had ice, we had debris, we had iron. The answer is, what are comets made of? It is a combination of dust, rocks, and ice. So Leona, you got one of them. That's ice. And debris, we're going to say that's pretty accurate. Dust and rocks, that's debris. So nice work, but not iron, unfortunately. There's very little, if any, iron in comets. The iron is more common in asteroids than comets. Found you on the For You page. Nice, that's cool. Thank you for the 4 finger hearts. Can I do that? There you go. I've been learning about K-pop from my wife. All right, next question. How old is the universe in years? My son happy? Yeah, your son's doing a good job, Francesca. What year is your son in? If you don't mind me asking, Francesca, out of interest. Just curious because they're getting quite a few of these right. But no worries if you don't want to say. That's totally fine. How old is the universe? Oh, nice. Rob just reached fan level 2 in the fan club. I'm going to celebrate that. How do we celebrate? I'm sending a goodie bag. I don't know how this works. There's a goodie bag. We're celebrating Rob reaching fan level 2. So I don't know. I don't know what this does. Maybe Rob knows. Leona. Okay, so Leona guessed 100 billion years old for the age of the universe. Anyone else want to have a guess? Now, how do we know how old the universe is? That's a great question. Because we obviously weren't there at the start. Tough guy. Hey, Dylan. It's a tough one. I don't fully know. Okay, Francesca guessed 13 billion years. I think it's a couple of ways. One of which is we look at, as the universe is expanding over time, and the rate of expansion is speeding up. So we look at, we can look at like distant stars and close stars, and because of the rate of expansion of the universe, the light wave actually shifts from. No one opened the goodie bag. Come on, guys, open the goodie bag. I'm gonna send that again. So like the light wave like shifts of these stars from where we'd expect them to be. So we can like look in the distance and be like, oh, based on the expansion of the universe, that must be that far away, and then therefore that must be like the age. I explain that terribly because that part of science, space science, is not my area of expertise. But we had a crack. Anyway, so how old is the universe? It is 13.7 billion years. So Francesca, 13 billion years is the closest. Well done. Well done to you or your son. And thank you for the heart, Francesca. Leona said 100 billion years old, so a little bit further away, so not quite. But not a bad guess. All right, how many humans have been in space? How many people have ever been to space? And I've realized this number is probably out of date now, but only by about 6. Because just recently, another 5 or 6, the women who went into space with that Blue Origin launch. So a few more people have been to space. I can add like 5 to this. But how many people have been to space? Does anyone want to have a guess? I swear to God, I saw you. I don't think so. Not recently, at least. 28, said Leona. 28 people have been to space. Astro Guy never got back to me. Who's Astro Guy? Say hi to Brazil, bro. Hi, Brazil. Thanks for tuning in all the way from Brazil, and hello from Australia. Diana, thank you for the 2 roses. Appreciate that. Thank you. Why do I feel like it's above 100? Okay, so we got above 100. Guess from like there. We were talking about. Oh, Melanie, hello. Yes, I remember. Welcome back. We're talking about telescopes and lenses. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Okay. Well, I hope you were able to do some research and find a good telescope. I remember we were talking because I couldn't. I didn't have any answers for you on which telescopes were good for like hobby telescopes. So yeah, hope you're able to find something. Any recommendations? I still don't have a recommendation. I'm sorry. We had like a monoscope, which is like it's like binoculars but only one, and it's on a tripod. That one's okay. Like you can do some things with that. It's like that's a pretty cheap one. It's like good but cheap. You can it's good because you can use it just to like look in the distance. So if you take it to a hill, you can like look at the city or like the landscape or something in the distance. I don't know why I'm doing this, but and you can like look at stars and you can see the moons of Jupiter. So that's cool. You can't see that with the naked eye very easily, but with the monoscope you can see the moons of Jupiter. So if you're just looking to get started, maybe a monoscope could be good. It depends on the lenses too. Yeah, I know. There's a lot of factors, so that's why I don't feel confident to give you a recommendation. But maybe a monoscope if you're looking for like a kind of a low cost, like beginner kind of tool. It's not a telescope technically, but it's kind of similar. Marcus, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. All right. So the answer to the question, how many humans have been to space? It was 628 a few months ago. I think it's now about 635. So Leona said 28. Francesca said 680. Someone said over 100. Yeah. So sorry. Francesca said 642. Oh, and then 680. Well, either way, Francesca is closest. So well done. It's like 635, give or take a few. It's so hard to find a job in sciences. Io, what field of science do you do? Love your chin, holy. Thank you, Rosita. I have a Saxon one. Saxon at the moment. It's pretty good, but looking for a new one. Okay. Well, if you have that already, then maybe the monoscope would be like a step down. It depends on as well. Like, do you want one that can track automatically, track like star movement? Yeah, it's hard. It's hard, but like you can go very expensive or budget. But yeah, I don't feel confident to recommend something, unfortunately. Sorry about that. Gabs, hi, and voila. What's up, my dude? Keeping this Gucci, I presume. Indeed, voila. Doing well. Doing our weekly space science quiz. And we got 22 more minutes of it, unless someone subscribes and adds 3 minutes to the timer. All right. And if you're on YouTube, that will make no sense to you, but that's a TikTok thing. So hard because the lenses are important no matter what scope. Yeah. Thanks for the follow, Melanie. Appreciate that. All right, next question. What's the name of SpaceX's first human-rated spacecraft? This is Elon Musk's little space company. You may have heard of it, SpaceX. So their first spacecraft that can send humans to space. What is the name of that? Does anyone know? So by the way, not the rocket, but the spacecraft itself. As in like the capsule. This might be a hard one, I'm not sure. What's the question again? Yep, the question is, what is the name of SpaceX's first human-rated spacecraft? The name of the spacecraft that SpaceX can take humans into orbit with. Anyone know or want to have a guess? Oh my god, this live is for intelligent ones. This is one of the harder questions, but yes, we are testing your space knowledge here. But hopefully, if you don't know the answer, then you learn something new. All right, we'll give you this one because I think it is a hard one. The name of SpaceX's first human-rated spacecraft is the Crew Dragon. That's the name of their space capsule that can take humans to orbit. Crew Dragon. Clarence, what is the largest star in our universe? Off the top of my head, I'm not sure. It might be maybe Betelgeuse. Betelgeuse is the one that comes to mind as like being quite a large red giant. Hey Hansi, thank you for the follow. So maybe it's Betelgeuse, or is it Aldebaran? I don't know. Do you know the answer? Otherwise, I can look it up. And keep in mind, it's based on, our knowledge of which would be the largest star would be based on what was the largest star in the past, at the time at which the light left the star to reach us. Because the largest star in the universe is probably it might be one that we can't even see yet. Or, the light that's getting to us now is from when it was quite small and young. Because, of course, like, if a star is 1 billion light years away, it takes 1 billion years for that light to reach us. So by the time the light has reached us, the star may be dead, or the star may be bigger or smaller now. But, ooh, okay. Starship. Good guess, Francesca. Yeah, so Starship they haven't put humans in space yet with, so I would say not human rated yet, but they do intend to put humans into orbit and to take them to the moon and Mars with Starship. So not yet, but if you ask again in a few years, maybe that'll be right. So apparently the largest known star in our universe is UY Scuti. That is a funny name. UY Scuti. It's a red hypergiant, and it is 1,700 times wider than our star, than our sun. UY Scuti. Like you let a U, let a Y, and then Scooty or Scuddy maybe, I'm not sure. There you go. I learned something new today too. It's actually quite close. UY Scuti is only 9,500 light years away. Whoa! If you put UY Scuti in our solar system where the sun is, it would completely engulf Earth and Jupiter. That's how big it is. That is a big star. Fernandog, you're beautiful like the stars. Thank you, Fernandog. Too kind. Pilates lover, thank you for the follow. Wow, nice name. Yeah, UI Scooty, that's a funny one. Well, thank you. I learned something new too. All right, next question. What was the name of the first astronaut to walk on the moon? I'm sure someone knows this. What was the name of the first astronaut to walk on the moon? The first person to walk on the moon? What was the name of the first person to walk on the moon? We'll give you guys a minute. Ace! Morning, my dear brother. Hello, Ace. How are you? Good to see you. Good afternoon from Sydney in Australia. How are you today? Okay, so for this question, who was the first person to walk on the moon? Leona on YouTube guessed Buzz Aldrin. Fine, how about you? Good, yeah. Just had a coffee doing our space quiz, so having fun. Enjoying my Sunday. Francesca on TikTok guessed Neil Armstrong. All right, so Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong. I can confirm that those are both astronauts. So let's see who walked on the moon first. I'm working today. Okay. How long until you start work? Or are you working now? Max, hello. Welcome, Max. All right, we've had a few guesses, so we'll give you 10 more seconds. So who was the first person to walk on the moon? What was their name? All right, 5 seconds. Last chance. All right. The answer is Neil Armstrong. So well done, Francesca on TikTok. Buzz Aldrin is the second person to walk on the moon. So very, very close, Leona. You're only one off out of all the people who ever walked on the moon. Buzz Aldrin was the second, and Neil Armstrong was the first. Ace, thank you for the heart. Appreciate that. Max, very interesting channel, and thank you for the follow, Max. And yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, I try and make educational videos about space and science and AI and technology and stuff. So welcome. Yeah, hope you enjoy. Cool. All right, next question. And well done, Francesca. So, what was the name of Earth's largest satellite dish, which collapsed in 2020? So you might remember this from the news about 5 years ago. This was at the time the largest satellite dish on Earth. It was on ground-based satellite dish. It collapsed in 2020 because it was quite old. It was like 30 or 40 years by that point, and it got a bit old and collapsed. Does anyone know what that dish was called? This satellite dish was quite a central point in a science fiction book called The Sparrow, which was, by the way, a great book. Really recommend that book. The Sparrow. And yeah, anyway, so what was the name of this satellite dish? This is probably the hardest one I've got here, to be fair. I'm really trying to stretch your knowledge here. So maybe I'll just give this one to you, but we'll give you 5 seconds just in case. All right. The answer is, it's the Arecibo Observatory. And yeah, I figured that one might be a little bit tricky. Arecibo Observatory. All right, next question. Approximately what % of the universe is made up of dark matter? So there's dark matter, dark energy, and of course regular matter. So what % of the universe is dark matter? And feel free to have a guess. Because it's a percentage, so you may as well guess. It's between 0 and 100 is the answer. All right, Leona guessed 60% on YouTube. Good. Kicking us off with a good guess. Anyone else want to have a crack? What % of our universe is dark matter, roughly? As far as we know. And now dark matter, what is dark matter? Good question. Dark matter, all right, I'll back up and give you the history. So our galaxy is a spiral galaxy. If you've seen maybe like an artist rendering of that, it's a spiral galaxy, and it rotates. Now, the reason why, as it rotates, like stars don't get flung off into space, into galactic space, is because there's enough gravity to like in the galaxy to hold everything in. But we noticed that based on the stars that we can see in the galaxy is rotating faster than we would think. And so it's weird, because stars are not getting flung off into out of the galaxy, but they should, based on how fast it's spinning, but they're not. So well, there must be something else there that we can't see that's providing some kind of gravitational force. So that thing that they can't see, they call dark matter. And that dark matter, we can't see it, which is why it's called dark matter. But there must be something there that's providing some more gravity. So that's dark matter. Nadia, hi and good morning. Welcome, Nadia. Welcome. Thank you for joining. We're just testing our space science knowledge today. And so, what % of the universe is dark matter? Leona guessed 60%. The answer is around 27% of the universe is dark matter. But Leona was the only one who guessed, so Leona was closest. Nadia, I'm from Thailand. Nice, welcome. I'm from Sydney, Australia. All right, we've got about 10 minutes left on this Sunday stream, unless someone on TikTok subscribes, which adds 3 minutes to the timer. And subscribing helps support my science education work. It helps pay for equipment and video editing. So yeah, you get 2 for 1. You get to add 3 minutes and you get to support. So if you're watching on YouTube and you don't want this to end, you should hope that someone on TikTok subscribes. But anyway, let's go to the next question. So a black hole, right, the black hole itself is like a central point, like a really small, infinitely small point. Now, a black hole has a region which once you enter, you can't ever leave. Even light can't leave this region. So the closer you get to a black hole, the more you get sucked in. And when you get sucked in far enough, there's a point where you just can't leave. Not even light and information can leave. So what is that point called? What is that point of no return called in a black hole? You look half Chinese, am I correct? Not that I know of. I am very much Eastern European. Maybe there's some Mongolian in my blood or something. Hugs from Brazil. Hey, Wobba Eduardo. Thank you. Okay, Leona guessed on YouTube the event horizon is the name of that point of no return of a black hole. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. All right, event horizon. Does anyone else want to have a guess? What's that point of no return called? Wow, he was beautiful. I'm supposedly full Chinese, but by genetics show I am half North Chinese and half Southeast Asian. Okay. Beautiful eyes, you look clean. Thank you, Joe. All right, so the answer is, because no one else is guessing, the answer is it's the event horizon. That's the point of no return of a black hole. So well done, Leona. You did know this one. Congratulations. Do I speak Portuguese? Un poco, but also no. And I think that's Spanish anyway. So no, I don't speak Portuguese. I speak a little bit of Italian and a little bit of Japanese. And maybe if you squint, I speak a little bit of Tamil, but that's it. Is that timer to show how long you intend to stay on live? Yes, it is. Yep. So in 7 minutes, I'll be hopping off. But if someone subscribes, that adds 3 minutes to the timer. All right, next question. We'll see if we can get a few more quiz questions in before we call it a day. How old is our sun? What is the age of our sun? Portuguese is good. Can you say something in Portuguese for us, Alguen? Does anyone know the age of our sun? Dan, sup, bro? Hey, Dan. Not much. How you doing? What do you reckon is more feasible, terraforming Mars or colonizing Venus? Ooh, cool. Good question. Yeah, so if we colonize Venus, we wouldn't necessarily have to terraform it, but it would require, like, to survive on Venus would require, like, a decent amount of technology. Some people talk about having cloud cities on Venus, because Venus has very intense atmosphere. It's very thick. And quite damaging. Like, so we've landed a few probes on Venus, and they don't last very long, like less than an hour before the probe is destroyed, because of just how intense the atmosphere is. So I'm gonna say, like, just because terraforming Mars, it seems technically possible, but it would be such a huge undertaking to do that. I'm gonna say, like, somehow living in clouds on Venus would be more feasible. But who knows? It's a tough one. Does it really have acid rain? Yes, it has acid rain, it has intense storms, has a thick atmosphere. It's very, very inhospitable. But terraforming Mars would be a massive, massive undertaking. All right, so back to the question. Francesca guessed 4 billion years. On YouTube, Leona guessed 5 billion years. How old is our sun? We've got 4 billion, we've got 5 billion. Any last guesses? Brenda, hola. All we need is a million years of technology evolution. Yeah, maybe. Maybe not a million years, but definitely some technology evolution. Because keep in mind, technology is developing faster and faster and faster. So who knows? Maybe 1,000 years and we'll get there. Like, think about where we were 1,000 years ago to where we are now. It's just like, it's just unfathomable. And I love that quote. I think it was Arthur C. Clarke said, any technology that's sufficiently advanced technology looks like magic. Like, for someone 1,000 years ago, if we showed them any of our technology today, it would just look like magic. Like they wouldn't even be able to comprehend it. Like imagine showing someone 1,000 years ago a TV or a rocket. Like that would just feel like magic to them. So maybe in 1,000 years from now, any technology would look like witchcraft. Exactly, birds. Yeah, it would look like magic. We just like wouldn't be able to even understand it. So who knows? Who knows? Julian, hi. And Aline, hello. Welcome. All right. Back to the question. How old is our sun? We had a few guesses. The answer is 4.6 billion years old. So well done, Leona. I think you were the closest. Yeah. I think we used to think it was 5 billion years old, and then we realized it was a bit younger than that. So 5 billion years, we thought it was that like 10 or 20 years ago, I think. Porcel, hi. Welcome. Francesca, we did write 4.6 billion years. Oh, you did? Okay, yeah. But I saw you said 4 billion years first. So I think I have to give that one to Leona because you had the answer there twice. But you were right. You were right. You got it right the second time. All right. I reckon we've got time for one more question. And if you were paying attention, I gave away the answer to this one earlier in the stream. So the question is, how many space stations are currently orbiting Earth? How many space stations are there currently orbiting Earth? It's okay, we try our best. No, you guys are doing a good job. All right, how many space stations? Birds said 4. Anyone else want to have a guess? Leona said 2. Leona on YouTube said 2. I'm getting, TikTok is coming up with a pop-up saying, do this capture. That's fun. I'm not a robot, TikTok, I swear. What are we doing right now? We're doing a space science quiz. We're testing your space knowledge, Ming. So are we talking about satellites? No, so not satellites, just space stations. So a space station would be like one that people can live on. So satellites is like thousands of satellites. But space stations, how many space stations are there right now? Do geography, I'll ace it. I'll give you a geography question actually, Ming. What is the name of the country between France and Spain? There's a little country between France and Spain. What's its name? Okay, Francesca guessed 12 stations. We had a guess of 4 from Birds and 2 from Leona. The answer is there are 2 space stations right now in orbit. That is the International Space Station, which is the one most people know. And there's the Tiangong Space Station, which is the Chinese space station. It's being built right now. But yeah, that space station, we have 2. It is half built. Ming, do you know the answer? Is it Italy? No, it's Andorra. There's a tiny, tiny country called Andorra. It's got like 50,000 people. It's between France and Spain. It's kind of cool. It's like in the mountains. Okay, 2 stations, said Francesca. Yeah, that's right. Well, folks, we are out of time. That is the end of the hour. So we're going to leave it there. If you're watching on YouTube, yeah, we set up for 1 hour. The timer came up on TikTok, but not YouTube. But anyway, so we're going to leave it there. Thank you very much for tuning in. Good to see you all. Hopefully see you next Sunday. Jan, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. I'll do a little plug. If you had a good time, if you want to come back and join us for another space and science quiz and chat next week, give us a follow. We really appreciate that. If you want to see videos about space and science and technology, give us a follow. Subscribe on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube. And we'll leave it there for now. But thank you very much for watching. Hope you all have a good Sunday. And we'll see you again soon. Bye, everyone. Thanks, Danny. You too. See ya.